Welcome back to the Writer's Block, where we are here with Alex Morgan, and we are talking about his writing in general and his new book, For Kerry. Alex, your writing, your stories are very lazy stories, in a very complimentary way. The stories evolve in a very Jamaican, no problem kind of way. They sneak up on you. Is that deliberate?
To some extent it is, but then I believe it's the style I've developed over the years. But I try to write in a very plain style that pretty much anyone can understand.
So the fiction is really about the possibility, while fact, history is about the reality of things. But your stories seem to be somewhere in the middle, where it is actually just life, as if there's no coating onto it. As if you just deliver life as it is.
Yeah.
To what extent are things like pacing and the other elements of fiction important to you when you craft your work?
I believe these elements would come in at some point, but I don't consciously think about them when I'm writing. Remember, I wasn't formally trained as a writer, nor did I study literature. You see, I simply started writing from a workman-like perspective to see if I can do this sort of thing. Over time, people commended the work, encouraged the work, that sort of thing. You know, then editors accepted the work. So it was never any deliberate attempt to pace a certain way or pitch it in this way or consider a certain theme or anything like that. It was just writing for the pleasure of writing and telling the stories I want to tell.
And expressing life as it is.
Expressing life as it is.
Do you have a publisher?
Yes, I work with LMH, but I also do my own thing.
You publish your own work,
right,
so you're a self-publisher.
Right.
Why is self-publishing important in Jamaica?
I believe right now, in the publishing arena, there aren't many avenues for Jamaican writers or Caribbean writers unless you are a brilliant literary writer who can cop a big contract with a top literary firm, maybe Macmillan or one of these others. Now, for writers of popular fiction, there's not that big a market for Jamaican writers or Caribbean writers. It was a similar situation in the US up to recently, but what they did, the black American writers, they decided, after hearing several publishers saying no, there's no market for your work, they'll not publish this sort of thing, nobody will buy it. They decided, because they're writers, they decided that they're going to write anyway, and I'm going to publish it myself, and I'm going to sell it myself, or I'm going to get whatever help I can. So a number of these writers you see around now, like Zane and Derek Jerome Dickey and Elin Harris, the late, they started out by selling their works, we're not in bookshops, in beauty parlor shops. So in the markets,
I see what you're
and
saying.
on the streets.
And out of the backs of their cars.
And out of the backs of their cars. Now when you do self-publishing, you have the freedom to do this.
So the young writer today who wants to be a writer and is afraid of not getting that international contract, what are you saying to that young writer?
I say persevere, try for the international contract, why not?
Yes.
I would still try for it.
But don't be afraid to self-publish.
Don't be afraid of self-publishing. Self-publishing takes a little money though, so the young writer might not have that sort of money.
Yes, about how much money would you need to publish one novel for Kerry? I mean, don't tell me your business. If I want to publish
no, well, if you want to publish a novel,
yes,
you can get a novel published now for as little as
1,000 copies.
1,000 copies?
Yeah.
Well, 1,000 copies will cost you a lot more.
Okay.
Because what you have now is digital printing that a number of persons engage in. Digital printing, you don't have to print 1,000 copies. You can print 10, you can print 100, you can print 500. So it's really up to you and how much you can afford. Now, if you're going to go 1,000 copies or 2,000 copies, then you're thinking more offset.
I see.
The profit margin is bigger, but the initial layout is also higher.
Publishing, self-publishing 101. 2 minutes. From the mind to the press, to the bookshelf.
Write the best novel you can, or the best book, fiction or non-fiction.
Yes.
Get an editor. Find an editor. Never go it alone. Number of things you will not see. Get yourself an editor.
Yes.
Get yourself ISBN numbers so that you can get your books in the bookshops and on the internet, that sort of thing, so persons can purchase it. find yourself a printer because you're the publisher, so you need to find a printer. You don't need a publisher anymore. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They find themselves vanity publishers instead of printers, and then they pay vanity publishers to publish their books.
So you have to clarify that. What is the difference between a vanity publisher
and a traditional publisher?
And a self-publisher? Because they are two different things.
Two different things, right. The vanity publisher invites you to pay him money so that he can publish your book and put it out.
So you take the risk.
You take the risk.
But irrespective of the quality of your book, you'll get it printed.
You'll get it printed.
I see.
The self-publisher, you take the risk, but you are the publisher yourself. I think the difference is not so much in who takes the risk, because with the vanity publisher, you still take the risk as with the self-publisher. However, the vanity publisher, after you pay him your money, and he prints the book by going to a printer, that's it. The vanity publisher is not marketing your book. The vanity publisher doesn't have any more further interest in your book than to collect your money to publish it. So vanity publishers are pretty much a middleman between you and the printer.
Who owns the rights when in a vanity printer situation? Does the vanity
depends on the contract. It depends on the contract. Some take all the rights nonetheless, as if they were traditional publishing houses. Some don't.
So the pitfall then is this: we have to be careful. Vanity publishers, self-publishers, two different things.
Two different things.
I see.
And also vanity publishers, each time you purchase a book to sell for resale purposes, the vanity publisher gets a percentage.
I see.
If you go straight to a printer, it's all yours. So whether you lose everything or you gain everything, it's yours.
So how does it work with the digital press? So we have gone to writing, you have gotten your editor to look at it, and now we have done our contract, we have chosen a press. How does it work? You say you don't have to print 100, you can print 100 and so on. You can print one if you want. And are there any digital presses in Jamaica that does that kind of work?
Not that I'm, it's possible, but they might be very expensive. Yeah, I print in the States personally.
Okay, so it's digital printing?
Digital printing, yes.
Is there anything particular, Alex, that you'd like your readers to take away from your work?
From my work?
Yes.
You see, primarily I write to inform about the people I write about, to let them know that these people are a part of our society. It's where I'm from. It's where a number of persons in Jamaica come from, you know, despite how they may look now, despite the Mercedes-Benz in age, you know, or despite the fancy clothes they might wear. You know. They're still from the roots of the land, you know. Sort of, I don't know if you've ever read Steinbeck, but John Steinbeck, he tends to write about the common man also, you know. So you tell the story of
the common man. And do you think we have done enough of that? Do you think our story is told enough in Jamaica?
No, not enough at all. We need to do more, and I believe when I was starting out, that was one of the big problems. I couldn't see myself in any book. And so I had to pretty much find my own way to navigate around writing fiction, how to write the people of Jamaica in fiction. My first exposure to it was through Anthony Winkler, you know, and that sort of gave me an idea of how to proceed.
And how do you balance that, finally? I mean, how do you balance? I mean, you write full-time and you work full-time. Right. How do you balance those two?
Well, you see, you may say I write full-time, meaning I write all the time.
All the time. Yes.
But in terms of the business of writing, I'm no more than a serious hobbyist because I don't make a living from it. Okay. You understand? But writing for me is like golf for some people. Not everybody is Tiger Woods. But you see people on the golf course all the way knocking the balls. And it relaxes them to an extent. You understand? How they play football, that sort of thing. That's what writing does for me. Okay. So it's not really work to write.
Okay. So you are not, but on one hand you say you have this calling, but you are not philosophically compelled.
No, I write because I have to, yes, but it also relaxes me. Okay. You understand? So I don't believe I could go for too long without writing, but I don't consider it work. And I don't believe anyone who has a real career that they love considers it work, you know, because they enjoy doing it. There are not enough hours in a day when you enjoy what you do.
That is true. Where do you see your writing in another 10 years from now?
Hopefully making it to the silver screen.
Make it to the silver screen. I see what everybody wants to be a movie star.
Well, I don't want to be a movie star. No, it's never an aspiration of mine. But I'd love to see my work
on the screen. Right. Which is the next extension.
I'd love to see the interpretation.
Which is a good question because if right now where we are in terms of writing and the expression of the work and the life of Jamaica, and with the advent of computers and so on, perhaps the silver screen is the next frontier, isn't it?
It should be. It should be.
And
I believe there's some work in that area, in that regard now. I see young persons pressing ahead, so there's no telling where it might end up.
And you are not intimidated by that possibility, that the silver screen may come and movies may move into that new media and affect, because they're more visual time now for kids.
Right.
Kids are more visual. You're not intimidated by the fact that your work or books may not be read as much in the future as they are being read now.
No.
You're not.
I still believe people will read. Computers have been around for quite a while now. People still read. People still read novels. It has affected it, I must say. The writing of novels has suffered because of the computer age or the digital age, sort of thing. But it has benefited also in that you can print your books cheaper. You can get a professional quality book out at minimal cost to you. So it's a give and take sort of situation. As to whether the young people will continue reading, I believe they will, because I believe sometimes, for instance, when I watch a movie and I hear that it's based on a book, I tend to go to the book and I usually find the book better. Yes. I usually do.
It is so.
So I believe they'll still read. But remember, people don't read in droves, it has always been like
but
that.
It was a pastime. I mean, and now it's there. And now there are more pastimes. Alex, boy, I mean, we sit down here, we could talk the whole day.
You could talk for
this is a spot for talk. This is what the writer's block is, You come by and talk about writing. But unfortunately, sometimes we just run out of time when we're having a good time. But, and this is what we want. We want a spot, a block where you can come and hang out. And that's what the writer's block is about. And we thank you, Alex, for coming. I wish you could go on a little further, but time is upon us. And we enjoyed having you here. And I wish you the best in your work. Of course, I hope the self-publishing thing expands, because I think it's really an important aspect of what is happening in writing.
I believe so too. They can coexist, self-publishing and traditional publishing.
I think so. And we have to take charge of our own thing.
Yes, exactly. More writers should try it out. And even a lot of successful writers, I mean economically successful writers, are doing it. Like even Stephen King did a self-publishing thing about 2 years ago. Okay. You understand? So
that is true. That is true. Because once you establish, you can do more things. All right, thank you, Alex. You see, we thought I was still talking. That was Alex Morgan, as I said, one of the prolific Jamaican writers who is putting out a book almost every year. We thank him for appearing on the Writer's Block. Good evening.